Hello everyone, it's Alex with Archer+alex. I am the lead soap maker and owner here. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of our CandleScience review. We will be using these fragrances in our cold process formula. So if you would like to see us do that, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, that way you get notified every time we post a video. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, so we punched everybody in so you can see. The first thing we're going to do is add our lye water solution to our oils. We're going to just bring them to emulsion. That way we have enough working time because we are doing 12 fragrances with this video. So that's kind of a lot. So we have our stick blender ready to go. We have our KD 8000 scale. That way we can weigh everything out, make sure we're hitting our targets where we need to be. Water to rinse things since we're trying not to do a whole bunch of dishes. That way we can be as eco-conscious as possible. And then, yeah, so we're going to get into it. I am going to get our lye water added in. So our oil blend today is olive oil, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, and castor oil. So normally we're using an avocado oil with our signature soap formula. Avocado oil is really expensive right now, so we're not doing that one today. All right, so let's get to blending. I'm gonna burp the stick blender real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright. So like I said, we are just to emulsion. That didn't take any time at all. We're at about 72 ounces of batter, so it's not going to need as much blending as, say, our traditional batch would. So we're gonna go ahead and dismount from there. Alright, and then going to grab a spatula, just give it a little hand mix just to make sure we're completely emulsified. That way there's not any oils up on the top. And actually, we look really good right now. Okay, the fun and chaotic part. So over here to my left, I have everything wrote down because this is actually kind of chaotic. I don't recommend anybody doing this in one go, but we're gonna do it. So let me get our fragrance oils picked and moved over here. Believe it or not, I do have a game plan. So in each of our little buckets, we are going to add 6 ounces of soap batter. So I actually got this tip from Katie Carson at Royalty Soaps. Don't get anything super expensive, like it's just going to wear and tear anyway. So I get these from the Dollar Tree. Pour 6 ounces. There we go. A little more, but that is okay. So we're gonna move that to the side. Right, and then our first fragrance that we will be using is cactus flower and jade. So we will be using 0.15 ounces of fragrance oil. Let me go ahead and place that there and get our first tray. Okay, so we're doing 0.15 ounces of each of our fragrance oils. That way we can stay a consistent test for each one. There we go. And I wanted to do this one first because on the fragrance notes, it did mention that it does accelerate soap batter. So since we're not doing any colors and we don't need a whole lot of mixing, I'm just hand mixing these. And oh wow, that smells absolutely incredible. All right, so we're gonna pour that in there. So we're gonna fill these up about halfway. These are the Crafter's Choice 1605 molds. Wow. I was actually expecting this one to really accelerate just from some of the notes on CandleScience website. But honestly, that behaved just with this one pour so beautifully. So I think we're going to be on a good course for the rest of one, because that was the one that I was the most worried about. All right. Let's move that one aside. Throw our container there. We're gonna pour off another 6 ounces. Soap ASMR. All right, so next up we're going to do matcha and bergamot. This one was honestly one of my favorites from the last video. So I can't wait to see how this one turns out. So we're gonna add 0.15 ounces in there. So I decided on 0.15 ounces just based off of the allowed usage rates for all of these. That way we were getting kind of a consistent fragrance load in each one. And so we're not adding any color in it. So part of this test is for me to be able to see how are these going to accelerate the batter? How are they going to discolor? If it's going to seize a batter or rice in a batter. So we're gonna pour that one in halfway, just like the last one. I will say this one did maybe accelerate just a teeny bit, but it's still not horrible. And that's probably just because of that bergamot component. I've used it, bergamot-based fragrances in other items, and it does tend to like thicken up a little bit quicker. But honestly, it's not bad. I still got everything in there. All right. So we have 2 down, 10 to go. Next up, we are doing Sweet and Smoke. So I'm kind of curious about this one, just because I've used other like smoke-based fragrances in the past, and they can be a little like persnickety in soap, just because of the elements that go into making these. So our batter's starting to thick up just a little bit. Oops. I would say we're at like a light trace. We're gonna pour just a little back. Perfect. All right, pair that puppy out. I don't know about anybody else, but I can never pour cleanly out of these little bottles. I always end up making a big mess. Alright. This one smells really good. So I'm getting, once it's in the soap and in a smaller amount, I'm definitely getting more powdery notes from it. And not in like a bad way, like not in kind of like that old lady or like baby powder kind of way. That smells really great. So half and half. Throw that in there. All right. 3 down. 9 more to go. 6 more ounces of soap batter. All right. Next one up is blood orange. We're gonna get blood orange measured in. Oh yeah. And honestly, I was getting a little worried that this batter was really starting to move along, just without the fragrance. But once you start hand mixing it, it starts to thin it back out a little bit. It is a little bit of a light trace going into a medium trace, but it's definitely still workable. Wow, this one smells absolutely fantastic. I'm really loving. I'm gonna tap this down. It's turned out really fantastic with that fragrance. You get more of like those lighter citrus notes. I believe my feedback in that one in the last video was that there was a lot going on coming just right out of the bottle. So to kind of get those notes out of the bottle a little bit, very pleasantly surprised with that one. Okay. 6 ounces. Next, we're doing lavender and driftwood. This one was definitely one of my favorites from the last video. Like, if I had to pick out a shining star, it would definitely be this one. So right off the bat, I'm definitely getting those notes of lavender and the driftwood. This one just smells like really good hair product. So kind of like your Redken or like a Crew almost. That would smell absolutely fantastic in a wax melt. I can't wait to see how it smells in a cured bar. Because that might actually be one that I will be ordering a full size of. So far I'm not noticing any heavy discoloration, which is cool. You never really know with some of these. They sometimes will immediately start to discolor, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. And I like doing this with any new fragrance that I get. It doesn't matter if I'm ordering from CandleScience or Brambleberry or Midwest Fragrance Company. I highly recommend people do small batches of fragrance test just to see how they're going to play in their particular recipe. Okay. There we go. So next up we have vetiver. So 1.15 ounce of that. Give it a little mix. Oh, wow. This was one that I said that it would definitely need to be mixed for my liking. But getting those notes, like, just right off the bat, that's not bad at all. Like, if I hated on this one a little bit in the last video, I'd like to formally redact those sentiments. Because you definitely get those notes in there, the light musk, the vetiver, of course. There's like even a note of citrus that I'm getting that I really, really appreciate. And that just goes to show too, like, you can't judge fragrance at face value just out of the bottle, because like once they start to oxidize and they're added into a product, like their fragrance profile can change completely. So there's our first set. We got through 6. We're doing pretty good. So I'm gonna move this over here in our curing area. Just off camera. We're gonna pull in this next set of molds. It was actually Holly from Missouri River Soap that turned me on to these molds. I was watching her videos during lockdown, and seeing her sea salt soaps were like absolutely inspiring. And so I was able to find these molds, and Crafters or Wholesale Supplies Plus was running a special on them. So I was able to like snag them up pretty cheaply. And I use them for so many of our soaps. So any of our sea salt soaps are in this mold. They like come out super beautifully. Our butter bars that we did for our holiday collection, I used them for those. We just launched the Body Parts solid sugar scrub, and I loved I used a different mold for that, but going forward I'm going to start using this same mold. So we have ginger and spice right here. So I'm going to use that mold. That way they fit into some of our packaging a little bit better. So you can see our batter is starting to come to a little bit of a thicker trace. We're still in like at a medium trace, I would say. So we're still doing pretty good. Oh. Wow. I'm just gonna be like Owen Wilson this entire video. Oh, wow. And because like I have a cold and allergies at the same time, I probably sound like a little bit like Jennifer Coolidge, which I'm not mad about. Get in the mold. Yeah, that one smells really good. It reminds me of my grandma's house. So she's a big fan of the wallflowers. I know, don't send her any hate. But like it has that like very like nice sweet but spicy aroma to it. Definitely not mad about it. Oop, a little too much there. Okay. So next up we have Cell de Mer. I keep wanting to say Cell de la Mer, just because I watch a lot of Adrienne at La Fille de la Mer. She's another soap maker that I just like. It's like Bob Ross for me. I can put some of these soap makers on in the background and just like totally space out and like check in to see what they're up to. And it's like just very relaxing and calming. Oh. So we're mixing together really well still. I'll have to go back and check the fragrance notes on this, but like I definitely get a little bit of like a coconut scent, and like in a good way, like not in like a copper tone sunscreen kind of way. And then you get like those really fresh notes with it well, and like maybe some lime in there too. That's really nice. Also would like to formally apologize. We're having weird weather here. So I live in Lawrence. That's where our studio is at as well. So we literally had like 3 days where it was 80 degrees. Then it stormed last night, it stormed today, and like I had to turn the heat back on. So you're probably hearing a little bit of that in the background. Chunky soap batter. Dump a little bit of that back. Just a bloop. Beautiful. So next up we have oak moss and amber. I believe that there were some glowing reviews on this one as well. Oh yeah. Big fan. Real big fan. Let's get this back there in the bowl. So usually my workspace isn't this chaotic and messy, but we're in a hurry, my friends. We gotta get this soap in the molds before we get in that danger zone. I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I just have like the pure ADHD, unadulterated audacity to think that I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. Like, if you ever see my headstone when I cross the bridge one day, it's literally gonna say like, frequently wrong, but never in doubt. And if those aren't words to live by, I don't know what to say to you. I'm gonna get like the nickname of like the Prince of Chaos if I ever do more challenges and like fragrance reviews like this. Gloop gloop. All right, next up we have Black Violet and Saffron. I'm really excited about this one. Like, if this one goes well, this is definitely like a Mother's Day gift that my mom would enjoy. So for Christmas, I made all my family's soap. And at this rate, since I've been making soap for like 2 or 3 years now, they're probably like, oh, yay, soap. But I made my mom this one this year that was a custom blend of tobacco and lavender. And it was so good. Like, I definitely want to bring that fragrance back. It was a little like pesky and ornery because I was just full bore YOLO. We're just gonna slap this in a mold. And I was like, I'm gonna make soap with a fragrance oil that I've never used before and make it a sea salt soap of all things. So that went south quick. Guys, we have 2 more. Ah. Oh no. Tear, scale, tear. Something tells me that I made a little bit less soap than I needed, which tracks. Next up, we have a sea mist. I've been trying to find like a really good pineapple fragrance that doesn't just like seize up your batter. And I have this like Grand Delusion that I'm going to do this massive Pride collection this year. And I want to do like a pineapple scented soap just because it's fun and summery. But I want to do like a jasmine note in there too. And I think if I can find pineapple that doesn't absolutely wreak havoc on my batch, this might be a good contender to go with it. Just so there's like a little bit like of that deeper florally uplifting note to it. Because I think pineapple by itself would just be way too strong and not be super appealing to everyone. All right, last one. We're gonna have to scrape out this dang bucket. I'll tell you what. Blocking everybody's view. Don't mind me. Oh wow. Too much, too much, too much. I have more than enough. So since I have extra, I can put Atlas to the test too. So last up is Black Sea. This one is very similar, if not identical, to Black Sea that I get from Midwest Fragrance Company. I described that in the last video. If you check the card out up in top with the first part of the review. Oh, I love this fragrance. Like it, I've used it, or used the Midwest fragrance version, I should say, for one of my sisters for the holidays. And when I tell you, like, and it just did it here too, it like slows down your trace just a little bit. So we went from being like a medium to like a thick trace to being right back at a medium trace with this fragrance. It is like, it performs really well. Like, it is one of those that is going to go the distance for you. All right, I'm gonna give this a little tap. Yay, we did it. And I'm currently wandering around the studio, trying to remember what I was trying to do. In full-on Sims mode, and somebody stopped my action. Alright. Last one, folks. We're gonna test Atlas, just because we can. And because I don't like doing dishes, so I want to clean this bucket out as best as I can. Which, I've been getting these buckets from Menards lately. I'm trying to find white ones, but I am kind of cheap, kind of a tightwad in my old age of 28. And I don't want to spend more money than I have to. So when I can buy nice buckets like these that fit all of my soap in them, and they're like $2, I'm gonna keep doing it. And they're of like a plastic grade that is soap safe, so like you don't really have to worry about them like being ate up and torn through. I've seen people use like cheap plastic containers and like they just get ripped through by the lye. Cool. And since I'm all, oh, I missed some. Good Lord. Since I can, I'm gonna go back to my blood orange container and we're gonna scrapey that one out, because Atlas, how I blended it, has those notes of the blood orange. So I just have a little bit in there. Make sure to get all of my sides. Gorgeous. Right at 6, we love that. So I'm gonna do a little under for this one just because we already have the blood orange fragrance in there. So I'm gonna do 0.1 ounces, I think. And I'm gonna keep this bar for myself because I'm greedy. All right. Last one. Give a little mixy mix. Oh, wow. Getting this last A little bit in the mold. We're gonna scrapey. I know I'm stealing that from Katie, but I like, even when I'm cooking, that's the only thing that goes through my head. Okay, cool. Scraped this. Lovely gal. Give this one a little tap down. Alrighty, we got them all in the mold. So I'm going to quickly clean up. I'll be right back. And so yeah, everything's in there. Did make a little bit of a mess. But I'm like so happy I actually got everything in. So yeah, we'll see you guys soon. All right, everyone. So we are back almost 24 hours later. Everything has been saponified at this point. So now we're going to go ahead and start taking things out of the mold. So we're going to do this the order that we put them in. And so starting up first, we have cactus flower. So it's going to be a little difficult to see, but there's not really any discoloration with this fragrance oil. So from what I'm seeing here, it actually shifted more white than anything. So this is going to behave really well in my cold process soap recipe. And giving it a quick smell, it is just so fresh. Like I said, it's one of those spa fragrances. It's going to be classic. You're going to be able to use this for your spring collections, your summer collections. I'm going to say yes, get this one. Next up, we have matcha and bergamot. This one also did not discolor. It smells really good. Like, I would say the fragrance is maybe a little bit softer with this one, but all in all, it's not bad. Like, if you want something that's a little bit more delicate, I would say go ahead and go with matcha and bergamot. Let's pop this other one out. So these are still pretty soft. I'm gonna have to put these on the curing rack once we're done. Next up, we have Suede and Smoke. This is one that I was really surprised by. So usually these types of fragrances discolor. They go dark brown really quick. It smells fantastic. Love it. And I did not experience any discoloration, any ricing, any separation. This is definitely going to be one that I'm going to reach for down the road. That one's done. Next up, we have Blood Orange. So once again, we did not experience any discoloration with this. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And the fragrance payoff is phenomenal. So this one, it definitely goes the distance and you get a big bang for your buck. Pop this sucker out. All right. Next we have Lavender Driftwood. This one did discolor, but not in the way that you would think. So this one definitely went towards like a creamy white. And it smells fantastic. Much like the last one, you get a lot of bang for your buck. So a little goes a long way. Slide this dude out. All right, next is Vetiver. Ooh, this one's really soft. And it smells great. I would definitely say with this one, if you're going to put it in molds like I did, you're going to want to give it some extra cure time. I'm not even going to take this one out just because that first one came out and it was really pliable still. So we're going to let that one sit in there just so it has another 12 to 24 hours to firm up a little bit. But if you're going to be making these in your recipe and you're using like a sodium lactate or even in a sea salt, that actually might be a really great one to use because it is still pretty soft. So you're going to be able to use it with the sea salt or things that are going to accelerate your batter a little bit quickly or make it harder, because you're getting a softer bar with that one because of the fragrance. All right. Next up is ginger and spice. So this one did discolor a little bit. You're getting a little bit of a yellowing, and that's honestly not bad. So this definitely has vanillin in it, so that is the vanilla scent component. So expect a little bit of yellowing. We might see some more discoloration as this starts to cure and set, but as of now, it's just kind of like a soft butter yellow. And the fragrance is like very delicate, so like you really get those notes, but it's not overpowering in like a dessert way. All right, so next up we have Sel de Mer. Oh, here's another soft one. So no discoloring. It smells incredible. Very beachy, very summery. It's definitely one of those spa-like fragrances again. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. I will be leaving the other one in the mold just because it is like vetiver and it is very soft. So then next up we have Oak Moss and Amber. If I can get her out. Smells phenomenal. Like, I'm very, very happy with this one. This is definitely one that I'm going to be reaching for in the future. There's not any discoloring with it. If anything, it discolored more towards white, which is fine. So if you definitely want to work with that one with like blues or even things kind of in that like green or even like the purple range, you're going to have a really good fragrance that's going to play nice with those colors, and it's not going to shift in tint to make your soap turn gray. All right. In the last mold, we have Black Violet and Saffron. So this one did kind of discolor. It's definitely more of a butter yellow, kind of like the ginger and spice, but it's not bad. So just plan for that accordingly. If you're following with your color theory, you're going to want to add a lot more purple than you're used to, just to kind of give yourself a nice neutral palette, and then to be able to shift it to like a rich, beautiful purple. Blues might shift a little green, so doing more of like a bluish purple or a violet is going to help you big time for that one. This next one is Sea Mist. Oh yeah. So you're definitely getting those notes of jasmine. I almost get like a honeysuckle kind of vibe from this. You do have a little bit of discoloring, but I would say it's closer to soap batter, or my soap batter color, as it is raw. So I'm not getting too much of a shift like I am the others. That one actually, like I said yesterday, would benefit really well from like a sweeter fruity note. So kind of like a mango or a pineapple. That smells really great. And then last up is, this one's super soft. So I know this about this fragrance. This is Black Sea. We're just gonna leave it in the mold. It's definitely a softer one. There's a little bit of discoloring just because there is vanillin in this fragrance. I do know that. The notes are like ozone, plum, vanilla, and I want to say like maybe a musk or something like that. So yeah, this one's really soft. You're gonna get a lot of working time out of this one. So you're gonna need to leave it in the mold for a couple of days. So that makes up those ones. And then lastly, oh wow, This is Atlas. So Atlas is the custom blend that I created using these fragrances. So you have the oak moss and amber, you have vetiver, and then you have the blood orange. And together it's beautiful. So you have those top notes of citrus, you really have those nice like middle smoky notes of the wood, and then like the deep vetiver at the bottom. It smells a lot like a, like this would make a beautiful like body fragrance. I'm 100% digging it. So yeah, this is what everyone looks like. Give you a little bit of a closer up. And then this one is the blood orange, which as you can see kind of shifted more white. So that's gonna be perfect. That's like a beautiful blank canvas right there. And then same thing for the lavender and driftwood. You have just like that nice, beautiful white, really a versatile fragrance. All right, so that was our review of CandleScience. I had a lot of fun doing this video. It was so much fun to be able to review these fragrances and see how they all performed in my soap recipe. So our last little surprise, we're going to reveal right in this trailer. So I hope you guys are excited. We are launching a new product line called Lab. So Lab will be product samples that we are creating and we're putting out to the public. That way everyone can test them and give us feedback about how they like them. So you never really know what the actual product is going to be. We'll let you know if it's a soap, of course, or what the deal is with what you're ordering. But with your feedback, it may go into a completely different product at the end. So we hope everyone is excited. This launches in mid-May of 2023, so just a little while away. And we'll have more details coming soon. So until the next video, stay safe, be happy, and toodles.